Todd. I own this house, and I want you to speak to me right now.
Jesus!
Hello? Make some noise! Who's here? Who's playing games with me?
That ball had moved on its own, or something had moved that ball.
Hello, I'm Todd Wolfe, and welcome to the Wolfe Manor Hotel. This historical site located in Clovis, California is the future home of a wonderful, luxurious hotel. There are going to be 39 rooms added to this historical mansion. The mansion itself is over 8,000 square feet. Many years ago when I purchased this property, I had no idea of the history. I didn't know it was the Clovis Sanitarium. I thought it was an old, decrepit building. However, since then I have learned so many stories. So much of the history is revealing itself slowly to us. But the amazing part is the past. And that's what we're learning about every day when we're here at the Wolfe Manor.
My name is Campbell, and I am the resident historian for the Wolfe Manor Hotel. The Wolfe Manor was built in 1922 as a private residence. It was built in the country. When you looked out the front door, there was nothing out there like there was a big busy street out there now. None of that was there. It was built by a gentleman and his wife. They had one child. And she liked the nicer things. She wanted it to be the biggest, most opulent mansion she could live in. She pushed him and pushed him and pushed him to build and build and build until it was just the most amazing house out there. There was nothing like it for miles. Unfortunately, she pushed him so hard that he ran out of money to build it. There was a swimming pool in the basement. There was a ballroom on the 4th floor. It had a dumbwaiter going to all 4 floors. It had 2 kitchens. It was absolutely beautiful, and it broke him. After approaching family members and friends for money to help finish the house, they were unable to help, and subsequently he lost the house. A couple years thereafter, he died a broken man. The house made its first transition into a sanitarium in 1935. It became the Hazelwood Sanitarium, and it was used to treat people with terminal illnesses. Tuberculosis was treated there, any number of maladies, but also, it wasn't all about death at the time. There were people born there. We actually have birth certificates people have donated to us, people that were born in the house, and some of them are still around. That in 1942 it was purchased again, and it became, at that point, the Clovis Avenue Sanitarium, as it's so often referred to. The sanitarium still served as a place for people with maladies to go, again, tuberculosis, people being treated for arthritis with bee stings. We have eyewitnesses to that. And as time progressed, they got licensed by the State Department of Mental Hygiene to treat the mentally unstable. And so now the sanitarium served a dual purpose. It was partially a insane asylum and partially a hospital. As time progressed, it took on another role and became a convalescent home. The mansion itself was actually used to house the violent mentally ill people, the ones that were a danger to themselves and to others, while the hospital wing, which no longer exists in the back, was used to treat your average day-to-day patients. The hospital closed in 1992, and we know that it closed amid accusations of maltreatment, Medicare fraud, patient abuse, patient neglect. We have many, many, many eyewitnesses that come forward to tell us about some of the horrors that happened in the mansion. Needless to say, thousands of people made the transition from this life into the next at the mansion. Wolfe Manor is the site of a transition point for thousands of deaths, and we feel that due to the very nature of people crossing over and the emotion, the power of the emotion that was going on there, the misery, the confusion, just all of this combined makes for a perfect haunting.
Hi, I'm Scott Gruenwald. I'm a resident investigator at the Wolfe Manor Hotel. About 2 years ago, I met Todd Wolfe on one of his tours at his haunted location. I went in there to see if ghosts are real, just to try it out. I didn't believe in the paranormal. I had no real interest in it. I went on this tour on Halloween night. Something happened to me up in Mary's room. I had something touch me, and I got real emotional. I asked the tour guide what's going on with me. He said it happens all the time, and I said, well, not with me. So that was my real first paranormal experience, and I think that was the thing that sparked this interest in the paranormal that I have now. Todd couldn't get rid of me. I started coming every weekend and then daily, and Todd and I built this great friendship, and I met Campbell, and we started just investigating the house, meeting all kinds of people, using all kinds of paranormal equipment, just digging into the house. We've broken holes in the house. We've done so many different types of enticing, and that's where we are today. And it's a great project, and I'm really glad to be part of it.
We have the mansion up in front. On the back of the mansion was a hospital wing. It was a 10,000 square foot hospital wing where it housed many, many patients. When I decided to do the hotel, I realized that the hospital wing in the back would have to come down. I also brought in an expert, Donna Raymond, to help lead the spirits from the hospital wing up to the mansion.
Today is June 11th, 2007, and it's the big day that we've all been waiting for, and it's a hard day for us actually. The hospital wing that has been here since the middle 60s is coming down today. So that's where the hospital is coming down, and then the only thing that's going to be left is the mansion. And Donna is here, and she is working with the spirits, trying to make them feel comfortable on what's going to happen today, because they've been down here living and hanging out in the hospital wing. And she's going to be working with them today, trying to get them to come up to the mansion where they will feel safe.
I don't want anybody to be afraid. I want you all to just follow me up to the house so that we're all going to be safe. Okay? Okay, so everybody, we're all going to go. Nobody stay behind. Everybody? Okay. All right, let's go. Everybody to stay here. I don't want anybody to go back down to the hospital wing. I want everybody to stay in this office, sit, make yourself at home, but please stay here, okay? Cross for yes. Big cross, please.
Now that the spirits have been guided up to the mansion, it's time to tear down the hospital wing to make plans and room for the new hotel wing.
The mansion and the hospital were connected by this ramp right here. Now we are officially blocked off, so there is no entrance to the mansion from the hospital wing. So from this point on, this is all being demolished, and that's what we're working on now.
I knew this day was coming, and I knew this moment right now was going to come, and I was just really avoiding it. And today, the demolition of it, and that this hospital wing is going to be gone, and so for me, it's a new beginning. This hotel is going to be incredible.
Now that the property has been cleared of all the buildings, except for what stands behind me, the original Clovis sanitarium, which will be converted into the Wolfe Manor Hotel, Terry and I and Scott will be investigating during construction, finding out what's happening in the house with the unknown, with what we can't see, but they will communicate with us.
I've always been interested in the paranormal, but I took a more active interest in it about 4 years ago and joined a local ghost hunting society. That's how I met Todd Wolfe and was able to get acquainted with Wolfe Manor. And from that point forward, I just became fascinated with it, and Todd was kind enough to let me start doing the research for it and become a resident historian and investigator there.
The friendship that has grown between Todd, myself, and Terry Campbell is unmeasurable. These guys have become two of my very best friends. We're so different. We all have the same interest in the paranormal, but we are so different in the way we approach the paranormal and just in our private lives. We are so different, that's what makes us get along so well.
Working with Scott and Terry over the past 2 years have been incredible. This is quite an experience, learning to work with two people and communicate while we're in there doing an investigation. And that is one thing I can say we do really well. We communicate. We all may be in different parts of the house, but we all need to have each other's back. And I can honestly say that Terry and Scott and myself, we all make sure that we take care of one another in that house and make sure that we're all safe.
Most people would think you'd be nuts to open up a hotel in the mansion. We've got a lot of interest in it. There are a lot of people already contacting Todd, to my understanding, that want to already book a room there.
Being such a haunted location and so much activity, making it into a hotel, there is a theory that construction or revamping of a place that is haunted may cause the activity to increase.
Some of the features of this hotel, there'll be a brand new lobby built, a 3-story hotel wing that's going to be added to the back of the mansion. The restaurant that's going to be inside of the Wolfe Manor is going to be called the Sanitarium. Some of the items that are going to be on the menu of the restaurant are actual menu items that were from when it was a sanitarium.
You know that many people have got into the paranormal. I don't know what the reasons are. Some people had an experience when they were a child. Some people had maybe a family member after a funeral sit on the edge of their bed. So it's interesting to meet people that come into the house and see what their agenda is, why they're into it. Me, I'm just very curious about death. Where am I going to go?
With tonight's episode, you're going to see us take many different devices that we use. We don't know what's going to work from investigation to investigation. So when we go into the mansion, what we do is we may split up into different parts of the house. We're trying to communicate with the dead. We're trying to communicate with something we can't see, but on a regular basis, they let us know they're there. We can capture their voices. They answer our questions, and you will be able to see the results from when we are investigating the Wolfe Manor. This amazing piece of property, I just can't believe that where I'm standing right now, this is where the hospital wing was. How many people, how many patients passed away right here? This hospital wing was over 10,000 square feet. Over to my left was a 3-bedroom house where the family lived as well. After she moved out of the mansion, she built a house off to the side where she lived, her and her family. All of that has been torn away. And now sits this big empty field where there's a lot of memories, a tremendous amount of loss. Soon to be the Wolfe Manor Hotel, where you can come visit as well.
On a basic investigation, investigators use perhaps a digital recorder, a digital camera, some use 35mm cameras, and they'll take their evidence back to wherever they go over it, and they'll use some types of equipment to clean it up. That means minor filtering and some amplification is used. When it's raw, in its raw form, is the best way that we like to capture stuff. I can't call it paranormal myself. I have to send it to the group, Terry and Todd, and perhaps maybe a local group to listen to it and go over it. The EVP is electronic voice phenomenon. That is a voice that we can't hear to the naked ear, but it's described onto an electronic device, such as a recorder. Some of the most interesting recordings I've ever got on any investigations were right here at the Wolfe Manor. We didn't hear with the naked ear, we were all in the room, we didn't hear the scream, yet we pick it up on the recordings. This is one EVP that we had gotten a few weeks back when Terry asked, "Do you like me to be in here?" I'm going to play it for you. an EVP of it saying, get out. Now, a lot of times we'll get EVPs that say, get out, and it really depends on the person. We've got different people have different responses, and this is one from Terry. And again, we do not hear this with the naked ear. This is imprinted into the recorder electronically. So is that the way they're communicating with us? Through electronics? The theory is that entities or ghosts speak on a higher frequency. We can't hear it with the naked ear, but possibly it can be captured with electronic devices, such as this digital recorder, this one, or an analog recorder. EMF is electromagnetic field. People will use EMF detectors in paranormal investigations. The theory is that the ghosts use some sort of energy that is measured by the EMF detectors. EMF is also found in homes, walls, and any type of electronics have EMF. Fortunately, here at the Wolf, we have no electricity. So anything we get here, any spikes, is definitely something that we can look at. I like to use the Sperry, which is a digital display type of EMF detector, where it'll give me actually a readout here for logging data. We can use the one with the lights on it, it's very handy, or we can use the one with the digital display. The K2 meter is a device used by a lot of paranormal investigators. Working in a dark surrounding or environment, they actually have a set of lights, 5 lights working from the lowest of EMF detection to the highest, which is in the red.
This bedroom is quite large. This is where the patients were. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 beds in this room. There are lights on the walls, and the lights on the walls identify where there was a patient. Wherever there was a light, there was a patient's bed. This is a room that we have had so many experiences in, mainly me. I was locked down one time in this gurney that sits in this room. They tied me down like a patient. We tried to reenact what it was like to be a patient tied down. The pain, the torture, the frustration. The curtain rods are still above us. The lights are still on the walls. The gurney is still in the room. I have been physically touched in this room. The light globes have actually fallen off the walls while we've been in this room. We have captured incredible EVPs. So with this house having a lot of death, a lot of tragedy, they would bring the bodies down here because it's very cold down here in the basement. This is the room where we know a lot of the employees used to work, the janitors, because their notes were still left on the wall on a nail. Their things to do lists, things that they needed to go buy. We come down here and we do a lot of investigating, a lot of EVP sessions, and we have found tremendous evidence down in this basement. When it was a sanitarium, this was very busy. This housed probably 100 and some patients. So therefore, they had a large kitchen staff. It became more of an industrial kitchen. Lots of refrigerators and stoves and freezers and automatic dishwashing stations to be able to take care of all the patients that lived here in the sanitarium. We have done so many experiments in this house. And one of the big experiences that we've had some great evidence and captured something that, the amazing thing is we weren't even in the house. We were outside. We tried something that no one has ever done before. We had a camera left in here watching the doors. We were enticing them with our two-way radios, trying to get them to close the doors. We weren't in the house. We were outside. All 3 of us were talking to them. They could hear our voices in here because we left two-way radios. Little did we know until later on when we went through and looked at our footage that we actually captured something, being able to move ever so slightly a ball that was on the counter. Something we weren't expecting at all. We were enticing them to close the doors, to touch the drawers, to move the drawers, but whatever it was decided to play with us. Maybe it was a child. Maybe it was the person that did the cooking in here. We don't know who it was, but something actually torqued and moved the ball ever so slightly, and we were very fortunate to capture that on camera.
Let's let Todd, let him know who's boss, okay? Let's see what happens. I'm gonna stand further back in this corner to catch the whole scene.
I know, I'm like,
But, well, not in a mean way, just like as if you were walking into your business, like when you have the pager store.
yeah,
When you walk, if you walked over there and you wanted to let the employees know, hey, this is my place.
I've never done that in here before.
Okay, now hit the record button and we'll start. Okay, ready, Todd?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
You session in the basement with Todd, Terry, and stuff?
So we're in the basement. So this is Todd Wolfe. I've owned this house for 11 years. I own this house. I'm in charge of this house, not you. If there's anyone down here, I want you to say something right now.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Tell him again.
Say something right now. This is Todd. I own this house, and I want you to speak to me right now. Come on.
It's me.
Behind me. Did you hear it?
Yes.
Terry. Terry.
Yeah.
Right before you said that, there's a...
There it is.
Say something. This is Todd. I want you to say something.
I don't like this anymore.
You've been down here teasing us for 11 years.
I don't like this.
And I want you to say something. Say it out loud. You have a disembodied voice. You can say it. You have the energy to say it. We know, we've heard it before. Say it!
Whoa.
Was that you just breathing?
No.
That was not you?
It was not me.
This is where they used to keep the bodies.
Were you back to sanitarium and see what we heard was... I don't know what it was. Here, want me to do that?
Yeah.
Dude.
You have a disembodied voice. You can say it. You have the energy to say it. We know, we've heard it before. Say it!
That's it.
We
That
did-
was not you.
No, because then you went,
Whoa.
So this is the first time, this is really cool, you guys. This is the first time we've ever had 3 cameras in here documenting 3 parts of the house.
Terry, you got yours? Terry, you good? Okay, I'm good. And Todd, you okay?
I am perfect, you guys. Okay, so we all have our cameras.
We have not been around the house at all, have we? We have walked in and came straight into the family room. That's correct. And I'm uncomfortable because I have to go down in the basement.
EVP session number 5. 5-minute room. Scott, alone. Are you the little boy that hides in here? Or are you the man that died in here?
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm in the boiling room. Is there anybody else that's down here?
I'll bet you during the time that this house was open as a sanitarium, there had to have been a janitor that passed away. And this is where you worked. Are you here with me tonight? I have a K2 meter right here. A light will turn on if you get near this little device. So why don't you just walk up, make the light go off for me. Come on. Can you do that for me? Can you make the light go off? Come on.
Who's here? Who's trying to make contact? Every time I try and move to go sweep the rest of the upper floors, God, I hate this. Okay, my K2 is right here. Okay, are you hanging out by the edge of the stair, by the banister there? Is that what's going on? Are you walking away? Ooh, okay. Hi. Can you do me a favor? Make those lights light up if you're standing right here, okay? Okay. That's good. Thank you. That's real good. Okay. And you can see I'm not manipulating this at all. And anybody who's been to the Wolfe Manor knows we have no electricity or any appliances or anything that emits anything here besides our friends that we can't see. Dog barking in the background. I love that dog. Okay, that's my reflection. Okay, I just got a distinct feeling I just got followed in here. Okay.
No, sir, I'm sitting back in the 5-minute room again. I hear a dog barking.
Scott, Todd, where are you? I'm in the basement.
5-minute room.
Terry, why? I'm in the basement.
Yeah, I'm in the Jesus, hang on. I'm in the master bedroom. Are you guys screwing with me? Okay. It sounded like somebody threw something at me.
So at one point on an investigation, we decided to separate. We each took a floor and spent time in pitch black, just kind of absorbing the scene, the scene, what was going on. And I made my way to this room. This is the master bedroom. And going through that doorway that we just walked through, it got the really, really strong feeling of being followed, which is pretty common here at Wolfe Manor. Okay, I just got a distinct feeling I just got followed in here. Okay. Hello? Got to about this point here, and there was a loud smack. It sounded like a good-sized rock or stone thrown up against the wall outside the door. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Immediately, as I was reasoning through it, thought it was one of the other guys. It was Scott messing with me, or it was Todd, and immediately got on the radio. Scott, did you just throw something up here?
No, sir, I'm sitting back in the 5-minute room again. I heard a dog barking.
Scott and Todd, where are you?
5-minute room.
Todd, where are you?
I'm in the basement.
They were downstairs. Todd was in the basement. Scott was on the first floor of the mansion. And so I sat very still, and this overwhelming feeling of not being alone. That's the point as a ghost hunter that you really got to dig your heels in and not run. No matter what every fiber in your being is telling you, you've got to stay planted, and that's what I did. I was scared to death. Hold on, okay, hang on. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm in the corner of the master bedroom. Hang on, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute, okay?
Terry was in the middle of the room here. We're communicating through two-way radios, and something is thrown. A rock, a key, something lands in the hallway. Terry finds himself again huddled in this corner over here.
Scott, why don't we get upstairs with Terry?
Yeah, that's kind of a good idea. That was hella physical, man.
He's talking to us. We actually had to rush up here and say, Terry, are you okay? Are you okay? And Terry's, he's actually terrified.
And I got to the corner right here, and I was just going to start investigating. I was going to get the K2 out, and it sounded. I thought it was one of you guys screwing me, like someone threw something at me. And
soft, hard,
it was like it was small. It was like a real sharp rap. But that was something else. There was definitely something in the hallway, and I really do believe it followed me into the master bedroom, and I don't think it was very friendly.
So even seasoned paranormal investigators like Terry or Todd can get very, very threatened in this house. This is one of the moments, one of the only moments that I've seen Terry as scared as he was. We came up here, we calmed him down, and we took him outside, and he got a breath of fresh air, and he felt better.
Jesus!
Different types of experiments have been used here at the Wolfe Manor Hotel for enticing. We've dressed as doctors, patients, nurses, and we've done things like brought in food and different things to see if we can gather some types of activity.
We've got a lot of evidence in this room, anywhere from videos of lamps being slapped off the wall, to being touched, to actual chest pains being experienced by people in this room, almost feeling like a heart attack. Hence, the room was named the heart attack room.
The heart attack room was one of the most uncomfortable places to be doing an investigation. It's always cold, it's always creepy, and it always feels like you're gonna get sick.
We tried to imagine what it would be like to be trapped here and just not being able to get away, and the misery and the emotion, and we wanted to recreate that to try and entice one of the spirits to react to it. So we took Todd and we put him on the gurney. We gave him a radio so he could contact us for safety. We tied him to the gurney, surrounded by a lot of the artifacts that have been found in the back of the hospital. IV bottles, old medicine bottles, things that were associated with this room probably. And we put a camera on him. And he tried to emulate what it would be like to be a patient trapped in this room, terrified. And we definitely got a response.
I sat in this house by myself while Terry and Scott went to the back of the property with the two-way radio to communicate with me, to make the spirits feel comfortable that I was the only one in the house. It's something I shouldn't have done, but I did.
Hello, whoever is in here. I'm not here to harm you. We're just trying to communicate with you. We're trying to find out the unknown. We're trying to find out who you are. And we have respect for you being in here. Some of the items in front of me are yours. Were you on this gurney, locked down like I am right now? Does this remind me of you? Hello? Hello? Oh my God, I'm sitting in the pitch black. This is your chance. I'm in here alone. I'm tied down. Scott and Terry left. It's just me. I'm the owner of this house now. Come on. This is going to be a hotel. The Wolfe Manor Hotel. There's going to be people staying in this room right here. Who's back there? Come on. Hello? Make some noise. Who's here? Who's playing games with me? You know I'm tied down. This is your chance. Come in here and show yourself. Come on. Thomas, is that you? George? Come on, show yourself! You guys are up here. This is your chance to come up here and touch me. Let me know you're here. Come on! I'm a patient just like you were. I'm strapped down. I can't move. Come on, Emily, where are you? George! Come on! I'm strapped down. I'm strapped down, just like you were. You were a patient in here.
a two-way radio, set a camera on him. Terry and myself went outside. We always have some sort of umbilical to the person doing the experiment. Usually it's watching through a monitor. This night, it was just a two-way radio. The lights in this room represented where the beds were placed when this was a hospital. Todd was strapped to the gurney, and he was calling out, "I'm just like you. I'm tied to the gurney. Can you show yourself? Can you give me a sign?" And one of these light balls had came off the wall and fallen on the ground.
Come on, George, come on!
This startled Todd, and Todd dropped his two-way radio, his only way of communicating to Terry and I, who were waiting outside. He sat here, and he screamed, and he screamed, and he screamed. Finally, we actually could hear him outside, and we came running in here. We couldn't get him out of the gurney fast enough. He was struggling. He was in tears, and then he bolted outside the house here. It's one of those things that happen in the Wolfe Manor that startles you and scares you when you're feeling the most comfortable you are in this place.
After we conducted that experiment, we thought maybe we'd been playing with fire. We shouldn't have, in my mind, we shouldn't have been so reckless doing that, because Todd did get a reaction and it did frighten him quite a bit. There was physical manipulation, there was anxiety. He was legitimately terrified.
Here in the heart attack room, it's one of the rooms that were housed many patients. This room housed maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different patients. It was actually overcrowded and many patients were stored in here. But the lights in this room represented where the original beds were. One of these lights is this light right here. On occasion, this light will come off and it'll fall and bounce to the ground. So what we've done, we've set up many cameras, we've done many experiments with this ball. Why does it fall off the wall? Is it not screwed in tight? So we came here, we found that there is a set screw at the top of this. There's one tight set screw, and you would actually have to loosen. You have to lift, it's actually pretty tight now. You loosen this ball, then you have to lift it up and remove it, okay? So it actually has a really good way, and we constantly are tightening these things down. When I first came into this house, I'd heard the claims of this ball moving, and so I thought maybe there maybe somebody's playing a trick on Todd. Maybe there's a string, maybe there's something that's making this fall off the wall.
One of the hottest locations in the Wolfe Manor is the kitchen, and the amount of activity we've had on a consistent basis prompted us to conduct a little bit of an experiment in here.
There have been many claims of these cabinet doors here at the Wolfe Manor Hotel, opening and closing, as well as the dishes making noises, shuffling in the kitchen, smells of cooking food. So this always was a hot spot for doing an investigation. Myself, I was coming through here one night with my camera, and I thought it'd be a good time to do this. Nobody in the house, so I shut these cabinet doors. I came back around the corner, and darn it if one of the doors wasn't open.
We have done experiments with the cabinets where we've left them open and we've left the room, come back, and they're closed.
A few weeks after that, we thought, why not? Set up a static camera, put a two-way radio in here, set a static camera up on the second floor, also with a two-way radio. Terry, myself, and Todd would stand outside, and using the radios, we would try to entice whatever it is in here to either move the dolls or open and close the cabinets.
We were enticing them to close the doors, to touch the drawers, to move the drawers, but whatever it was decided to play with us. Maybe it was a child. Maybe it was the person that did the cooking in here. We don't know who it was, but something actually torqued and moved the ball ever so slightly, and we were very fortunate to capture that on camera.
Shut the cabinets again. Me, Scott, and Terry, we're all outside. You're in the home alone. You can do whatever you want. Todd is the coolest paranormal investigator ever.
One of the most interesting pieces of evidence ever gathered here at the Wolfe Manor was a ball moving here in the kitchen. We had set up the static cams to capture the cabinets opening and closing. The cabinets did not open and close, but the ball on the counter definitely moved.
We set a camera up in the corner of the kitchen, and initially it was to record the cabinets opening and closing, if we could get the cabinets to open and close. And now, none of us really paid attention to the other objects in the room. We were focused on the cabinets. There happened to be a ball on the counter. We had to play it back and watch it again and again, and there's no wind in here. There's no breezes. There was nothing else to influence the ball, and it was sitting here, and it spun. It appeared to spin and move this way, almost as if something was playing with it.
When we had found on our video that the ball had actually moved here in the kitchen, immediately Todd, myself, and Terry scrambled down here to the Wolfe Manor Hotel to figure out there must be a reason for it to have moved. So we came in here, we checked for drafts, we messed with the curtains to see if maybe possibly the wind had blown through here. We even looked for animal droppings like mice or rodents that might have got in here. There are no rodents here at the Wolfe Manor Hotel. That ball had moved on its own, or something had moved that ball. Tonight was an amazing night. You saw Todd Wolfe strapped to a gurney, terrified. Terry Campbell was cornered by an unseen spirit. You actually saw a ball move on its own. I picked up recordings and readings and evidence that I cannot explain, along with personal experiences. I think that this is probably one of the most haunted places I have ever been.
You have seen the evidence that we have captured, and we will continue to explore the mysteries of the Wolfe Manor. My name is Todd Wolfe, and thank you for watching.